retired police officers in Nigeria are demanding quick approval of 758 billion naira in unpaid pensions, warning of growing frustration that could trigger unrest among serving officers. National Association of Retired Police Officers of Nigeria said many retirees under the contributory pension scheme face severe hardship. While they welcomed PENCOM's recent upward review of pensions, they stressed that delayed implementation due to funding issues has left many in distress. They call for an increase in government contributions from 10% to 20%, special budget provisions for police pensions, and a 300% gratuity payout, citing the dangerous nature of police work. They also urged the use of the Nigeria Police Act 2020 to establish a supplementary pension scheme similar to those in place for the CPN, NDIC, and NNPC. Now, despite rising frustration, the group appealed for calm and warned that the solution lies in fixing the pension system, not abandoning it. And of course, for more insights into the current agitation to scrap the police contributory pensions fund, Professor Okey, Ikechukwu, Executive Director of Development Specs Academy, joins us now from Enugu, Southeast Nigeria. Professor, it's good to have you with us on Newsday.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Good. So regarding narratives surrounding the police contributing pension fund, what's wrong with the scheme, you think?
I think even in your opening statement, you observe that there's the PENCOM Act, but there's a problem of implementation. I do not see anything wrong with it as something put in place to address the welfare of those who have worked, who use their active years to serve the nation, and who therefore in this engagement have to enjoy some provisions which need to take care of themselves for the rest of their lives. Now, the delay is a problem on its own as distinct from the law and the practice. So my observation in that regard would be, if certain sums of money are outstanding, and those entitled to it are complaining, there are simply three things you do. Confirm that the money is actually there, find out where there is delay, and they take measures to address it. Because if each time we have an administrative challenge, we create a new agency, we'll have many agencies, but not the solution to the problems that led to them. So my take would not be, look, imagine that you and I have finished working, we are now retirees, the little stipend we are to get every month is not coming. We won't be happy about it. But that then should not make us look for a temporary solution. A lasting solution will be the thing. If you say discard it, have you addressed the question of those who are not making it work? You recall the case where somebody had to go to jail because of billions, arising from a certain, but I think the essential point is something is wrong, find out what it is, deal with it. That may not be enough reason for saying, oh, it's not working. No. Who is making it not to work? Is it the legislation or those administering it? Once you say it's those administering it, if you deal with them and deal with their tricks, it will begin to work.
Well, NAPON has called for different reviews and suggestions, including increased government contributions. They've also asked for special budgetary provisions from a public policy standpoint. How feasible do you think these suggestions and proposals have been from NAPON?
Well, for me, the contributory pension scheme, there is nothing wrong with increased government contribution. You see, the scheme and the law as it exists, the Police Act, Section 4, subsection 4, allows modifications. If you look at the Constitution in matters pertaining to the police, there are ways it can be addressed. Some are calling actually for a police pension fund, and that gives me a lot of concern. But I guess we'll come to that later. The issue here is straightforward. Pensions need to be addressed. Should further contribution from the government be part of it? I think it should be. But then there's a question of abuse. If you're doing 20%, you must do consistent monitoring and evaluation so that the names that ought not to be there after so many years will no longer be there. It will make it bearable. All over the world, the old model of pension management no longer works. At that time, it was the idea, once you retire, you're on pension. Now you have contributory pension. What you contribute is being managed by competent PFAs and all of that. So address the bottleneck, not throw away the bottle.
Very good, Professor. But how would you react to agitations towards scrapping the police pension scheme as it is today? Earlier, you mentioned the fact that implementation seems to be the main issue with it. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, it's not just implementation, but the fact of there being no punishment for those who are standing in the way of implementation. Now, if you're asking for a scrapping of the commission, of the contributory pension, you might have your reasons, but I'll invite the person to consider a few things. When you set up a police pension fund, you're going to set up a board. And my question, that board is not going to be funded? Will it be populated by police people? Let us ask ourselves, how is the police faring under the Police Service Commission? The IG is presumed to be the head of police, but if you look at the law setting up the commission, he cannot even handle promotions. And so we cannot continue to balkanize the possibility of the efficiency of the police and expect it to do well. So my take is that, no, don't scrap it. Second, find for how it can be improved. Third, look for additional funding. Fourth, look at the provisions of the Police Act which allow you to deploy IGR in a certain manner. That will be the solution. But to make a new law and then run off with it, you must then ask yourself, okay, PENCOM and all the institutions, financial institutions connected, how do they fit into all of this? My take, again, on this is that it can only still lead to further delays because you have to now begin to re-educate everybody on what the board is about, what it's meant to achieve, and already politicians and quote-unquote important people in Nigeria are posturing to take positions on that board. The board will have a life of its own with a massive, naturally, a massive office, administration of I don't know what, but ask yourself, is that better than having financial institutions, pension fund their houses, managing pension, which is their job? I do not think so. So focus on what has created the problems. That, for me, is the solution. And then look for leeways to improve the performance and impact of the police contributory pension fund, rather than scrapping it to set up an entirely new body whose ultimate benefit is not proven, which is also not going in the direction, if you like, that pension administration is going globally. So my take on that is that let's be very careful. More than be very careful, let us not contemplate getting rid of the police, of the contributory pension fund for the police at this time. The absence of punishment allows a lot of things to continue. How can people who are being owed billions and they are complaining everywhere, and you say the solution is to set up a board, those managing it, what is it they're doing? Has anybody been queried? Has anybody been picked up? Has it been taken as a national emergency that the older generation of Nigerians who have served in the police are not getting their entitlements? Why are there no consequences for misconduct? If we begin from there, we might then arrive at the conclusion later, right or wrong, that yes, we should scrap it or not. But as it is, I do not see enough justification for it from the angle of benefits to the retired officers and from the angle of shrinking its infrastructure for managing state resources and public welfare.
Very instructive, Prof. But some people have been calling for a return to the defined benefit scheme, which of course was where the police CPS migrated from. But also there's the foundational argument that you cannot get a large pension from a small salary. How central is salary reform in this debate of police pensions, and why has it not received the same level of attention and advocacy as the CPS?
No. I personally think that something very dramatic should be done about entitlement, salaries, and emoluments of the police, among others. They are doing one of the most risky jobs. If a policeman dies on the road, what does his family get? And even whatever he gets, when will they get it? Today, I gather that the police also provide uniforms for themselves. I've never heard of such a thing. So, absolute increase in their take. If they are very well paid, you'll actually have very strong grounds for dealing with any person caught doing the sort of things you know they are doing on the road. You go to a police station to report a case, they don't have stationery to write. You look at their vehicles, mostly dilapidated, those in good shape, how much budget is made for fueling and maintenance, even the ones donated by communities to them. So the police needs to be, first of all, better equipped. Second, their current pay package, if you ask my view, I think it should go up at least 4 times. Then what you contribute will be higher. So these are the things to address rather than thinking that if you say, okay, let money come from consolidated fund, or from whatever source, let's put some money together. It is possible that that will be affected by the budget. It could suffer the fate teachers' welfare suffers when it's reprioritized. Is it pension or retirement? Okay, no, let's use the money for something else. They shouldn't put themselves in a situation where that could be their possible fate in a country where there's so much pressure, a lot of indifference from those who ought to report to the authorities about what is going wrong, and the voiceless majority suffer for it. No, I don't think that way would be the best way to go in the circumstance.
Very good, Professor. And ironically, looking at some statistics here, it said that in 2024, the MPF pensions scheme emerged one of the best performing pension funds with a 38.87% return on investments. Now, when you look at statistics like this, isn't that enough grounds? Yeah, isn't that enough grounds to have some kind of confidence in this scheme as it is?
You mean in which scheme now?
The NPF pension scheme.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah. For me, these are facts to look at. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Yes, that's enough reason to say things are not going badly. But let's also examine another matter. If you're making 38% on investment, and that is not translating into entitlements from those on whom you are investing, that would be bad. That's why I say that we need a system review. We need to know why things are not working. An investment that gives you that kind of return, you have every reason to keep to it. So what I think should happen at the National Assembly and the level of national discourse is to isolate these facts one by one, each on a table, and organize a national roundtable on it. So that actually many of those asking for the scrapping only are considering the fact that, look, I'm having a problem at the moment. They don't have the details and long-term implications of the new thing they are thinking of. So the point is valid. With that kind of return, if indeed it does go to quote-unquote the shareholders, there will be no need, in my view, to think of getting rid of it. You start something new complaints will come, you start another one. We must ask ourselves, how many times have we tried to manage pensions in Nigeria over the last 20 years alone, across all agencies and all MDAs? So that would be my response to that. There's reason, based on the figures, to reconsider any precipitate line of action.
And that's a very good place to end the conversation. We'd like to appreciate you for your thoughts on this conversation. Professor Okey Ikechukwu, Executive Director of Development Specs Academy. Thank you for your time.